I do want to talk about a development that we saw today on Wednesday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with President Trump at the White House, and Netanyahu's goal was to get President Trump to expand his talks with Iran beyond just the nuclear program. And this is what President Trump posted on Truth Social about the meeting. He said it was very good, and he added this in part, quote, "There was nothing definitive reached other than I insisted that negotiations with Iran continue to see whether or not a deal can be consummated. If it can, I let the Prime Minister know that will be a preference. If it cannot, we will just have to see what the outcome will be. Last time Iran decided that they were better off not making a deal, and they were hit with midnight hammer. That did not work out well for them." Based on that, how do you think that meeting went? What can you tell us?
Quickly, just commenting on how the Iranians really saw this. The question is, does the Islamic Republic learn from its mistakes, or do they think how they negotiated in May was a mistake or not? Because we're seeing, again, a reflection of the same tactics. In their mind, if there were to be another attack by the United States and Israel, they'll be able to absorb it as long as it's not about aiding the movement on the ground. So that is really a key difference here, and it really comes down to how that is being signaled to the authorities in Tehran as to if they really know what is coming or not. But given the ties between Jerusalem and Washington, it's very important for us to expand on which allies in the region are actually sharing the same threats and interests of the United States. Currently, Israel is the only one that has this shared incentive as we do to push this regime towards its collapse. When you look at other allies such as Qatar, Turkey, these Muslim Brotherhood-backed states a lot of the times have an incentive to keep the Islamic Republic in place. They're benefiting from the regime. They launder money together. They support the same groups such as Hamas. Saudi Arabia, in a similar note, does not want to see regime change because they don't know the unpredictable. Again, they don't really want a competitor in their region as well. So in the Iranian perception, we're talking about the people, they see Israel as the only ally in the region that actually wants to remove this regime, and that's really critical. So when we talk about negotiations between Jerusalem and Washington, the buy-in from Israel as the only country that's actually struck targets on the ground and the only country that does have operational capacity within Iranian territory is critical.
And to that point then, how influential do you think Netanyahu was on President Trump today in that meeting talking about what he wanted?
Ultimately, given that this would be a decision, a theoretical kinetic strike, would be a decision that would impact all allies in the region. Negotiations with all of them is critical, even Qatar. We need to ensure that we're communicating diplomatically with everyone. Ultimately, it comes down to what would advance American interests on the ground. So you're talking about a regime that is the largest state sponsor of terrorism. They sought to assassinate President Trump. They go and conduct terror operations across Europe and America. They try to abduct American citizens. Every U.S. personnel in the region, whether they've been actually killed or if they were wounded, it's oftentimes through Iranian weaponry and funds, whether Iraq or Afghanistan. So we're headed really towards a direction where America needs to prioritize its own interests and figure out what is it really that it needs. Would a deal actually prevent the Islamic Republic from attacking U.S. bases again? Would it really deter them? So far, what we've seen is that no diplomatic outreach to the Islamic Republic has gotten them to change their behavior. We have not gotten behavior change from this regime. It's a matter of really postponing or delaying their regular tactics of repression and terror support.